Well, welcome to another episode of Poetic People Fighting Racism. I'm happy that you're here. And if you're watching this in replay, you can fast forward past this first 5 minutes and get right into the show. If you are watching live tonight, I hope you participate in the show. Whether you're watching from Facebook or YouTube, or you're watching from my website, knowtoBestill.com, at the podcast tab. Also, tonight's going to be a rough show, so I hope you stay tuned for it. Also, there'll be a link on Facebook if you want to participate in the show. You want to be actually a part of the show. You want to be seen and heard. All you have to do is hit that link and follow the prompts, and you'll be on the show before you know it. And don't worry, we will not put you on camera before you realize you're going to be put on camera. So even though you'll be able to see yourself, that does not mean you're on camera. We have to do that for you. So I hope you participate in this episode tonight. It's a serious episode, and I will try to keep things as light as possible, but that might be pretty difficult. So please stand by. And tonight's episode is episode number 9. Episode number 9. And the title of the episode is, Again, Another One Dead. Again. Wow. Again, difficult topic. It's really affecting me. So we got about another 2 minutes, so please stand by and we'll get right into the show. Now, also know that if you are watching the show from a browser and you decide you want to get on the show and be in the show and be part of the show, there'll be a QR code that will pop up, and you can scan that with your smartphone and you'll be in the show before you know it. And I really would love some participation tonight to see how others feel about what I'm talking about tonight, which is, again, another one dead. So please stand by. Well, we've got about 20 seconds and we'll be right into the show, so please stand by. Welcome to Poetic people, I'm tongue-tied tonight. Welcome to Poetic People Fighting Racism. I'm your host, Anthony Cordova, Tony C., the man about love. I'm just trying to spread a little love every day with activism living inside me. So you ask, what in the world can I do, can you do, can we do with just another online show? So let's see where we go when we know what we feel is real. Let's show how we deal with real discrimination. Let's show how we use what we have with poetry. Let's show how we live with real racism, taking our breath away while taking our lives away. Every day we wake up. We take steps to make us better and stronger the longer we live with poetry in our souls as we go old and wise. This is why we're on this journey. Because we're seen as the others, not brothers and sisters. They got us playing Twister, just waiting for us to topple down, always trying to keep us underground, but we keep rising and standing up for our rights. Our rights, our rights, our rights we already have. So let's do what we do with love and poetry every day. We can be the change we need because we are everyday people, creative, smart, and strong people. Poetic people fighting racism, we are. That's us. Poetic people fighting racism. That's you. That's me. We are. Poetic people fighting racism. So welcome to another episode of Poetic People Fighting Racism. Oh, now I'm going to take a breath. I need to take a breath and I need to exhale because of the episode tonight. Tonight, again, this is episode 9. Again, another one dead. Again. Okay, this time I'm going to be talking about Sonya Massey. And if some of you know the story, Sonya Massey is a black woman, 36 years old. She lives in Illinois, and she called the police because she thought she heard a prowler around her house. And what resulted was, while in her kitchen, this police officer, this murderer, shot her in the face 3 times and killed her. Shot her in the face 3 times and killed her. And he told her, "So help me God, I'm going to shoot you in the face." What gets me more about this case is that on June 30th, we had Devontae Mitchell was also murdered by security guards at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Milwaukee. And then on July 6th, now Sonya is murdered by police. So a little over a week, again, another one of us dead. Just dead. They just keep on killing us. Now, it strikes me that these 2 cases were so close together, you would think that everybody would be on their toes like law enforcement. But no. This still happened. Now, I am going to do a poem, and I want to dedicate it to Sonya Massey and her because she's deceased, but I still want to donate it, do this poem for her and her family and anyone else that feels the pain of her death. Uh, Now, the poem I'm going to do tonight is They Kill Us. I have done this poem before on the show. Some of you may have heard it, but this poem applies every time they kill another one of us. It's just horrible. Now, some of you know that I reference what I call the blue and white eyes. And I feel I need to explain who the blue and white eyes are. So the blue and white eyes are most likely someone that's Caucasian, okay, and believe that they are superior to any person of color or any person that is of another race other than them. They believe we are lower than them, that we are less than. I also want to bring up a phrase. I just remembered this phrase tonight, and I didn't learn this phrase until I moved to Georgia. So I moved from New York to Georgia. And I start hearing a phrase that I never heard before, and it's no count. No count. What is no count? And I just realized I didn't finish telling you about the blue and white eyes, but I'm going to go back to that. So, no count. No count. So it's a no count person. A no count person is like a person that's worthless. They're not good for anything. All they're doing is taking up space on this planet. Their life isn't worth anything. Anything they do is worth nothing. That phrase, no count, it's an old phrase, but it was like fighting words. If someone called you a no count, you may have to fight them for that because it's like one of the biggest insults you can call another person. So that's the way some of the blue and white eyes see us. They see us as a no count, not worth anything, just taking up space. If you kill one of us, so what? Because we are worthless. So back to the blue and white eyes. So those are people that believe they are superior to anyone with color of any race. The white part refers to seeing things through a white gaze or through white privilege or seeing themselves better than anyone else because of their skin, and the way they see the country, the world is skewed. It's not reality. Not reality. That's why Americans have the reputation of being ugly Americans when they go to other countries. Because they feel they're superior to everyone else. Now, the other reason I use that phrase, blue and white eyes, because the blue and white eyes also counts for the blue of the police force. So you got blue and white eyes that are just people. You got blue and white eyes that are cops that get away with a lot. So that's why I use blue and white eyes. Okay, I'm going to get into the poem. And this is They Kill Us. It's an elaborate system the blue and white eyes created, wherein we are outcasts, cast out, kept out, and stomped on. We are under white feet and can't breathe with killer knees and chokeholds and ropes that snap our necks. Just less than, just living and dying for the melanin in our skin, the darkness of our skin. They kill us in the streets, under police knees, as we plead to our departed mothers. They kill us in our homes, asleep in our warm, comfy beds. They send us to our ancestors in heavenly graves before we reached our childhood dreams. They kill us like rabid dogs when we're out for a run, killed by blue and white eyes with guns. They kill us while walking to the store or standing in our own home's doors in a confused state of mind, wandering lost in our minds, in fragile state of mind, in fragile mental health, just needing a little help. And our fragile mental state of mind, but the blue and white eyes in their confused state of mind kill us. The racist minds and times of the country we live in kill us. Seeing the melanin in our skin, the darkness of our skin, the color of our skin, and the clothes and the stripes a prisoner wears as the same. The same as the burlap sacks our ancestors wore as slaves. They kill us like we escaped the plantation, like we're runaway slaves, like we escaped from San Quentin, like we killed their mothers and grandmothers and daughters and sons. They will never be done with us. They will never stop killing us. For the melanin in our skin, the darkness of our skin, just living and dying in America's caste system. Less than just living and dying for the color of our skin. For as long as we shall live, they will never be done with us. For as long as they live, they will never stop killing us. Never, never, never stop killing us. Never. Never. Okay. That was the poem for tonight. Not a happy one. Not happy at all. It pained me that I had to do that poem again. Again, I had to do it again. Because they killed Sonya Massey and tried to cover it up. If it wasn't for the video surfacing, the body cam first surfacing, we never would have known. Her family never would have known. Today, I did research on this murder, and I really didn't want to. It really hurts to see what they did. Now, you have Sonya, 36 years old, Black woman, believing she heard a prowler around her house. So, like any good citizen, what do? You call the police. Call the police for protection. They're supposed to protect and serve. This is what they're supposed to do. But instead, they kill, they murder. And I know this is not all police officers. Thank God it isn't. But these types of things should not happen. The police officer's name was, or is, Steve Grayson. And he served on a police force near Springfield, Illinois. This officer was kicked off of like 6 police departments. He had several DUIs, but yet he kept getting hired. See, that's the police part of the blue and white eyes. Blue sticks up for their own. If you get fired one place, they'll hire you somewhere else. You might have to go to another state, but another police force will hire you. Now, after this murder, and if you haven't seen the video, please look the video up. I don't know whether I want to go into detail, step-by-step detail on what happened in her home. But it seemed to me that once she answered the door, she was already being treated as less than. She was already being treated as a criminal. And she just called because she thought she heard a prowler. So she comes to the door. First thing, what took you so long? Why did it take you so long to get to the door? Why? She said, because I didn't have any clothes on. I needed to gather my clothes, put some clothes on so I could come to the door. But already, the bad attitude. They talked to her at the door for a while, and then they came in the house. Now, they already told her, we searched your property, and we did not see anything, anyone. But then, it was 2 officers. One started searching her house. She never said there was a prowler inside the house. She said she heard something outside. And then they start asking for her driver's license. She was confused and nervous. And she had a hard time putting her hands on her driver's license. And she was still on the phone with 911, and they're saying, oh, are the police officers there? She says, yes, they're here, but please stay on the line. Please stay on the line with me. Now, this is just my opinion, but I think she felt something's not right. So she asked the 911 operator to stay on the phone. Around that time, she's still looking for her driver's license. And one of the officers noticed that she had a pot of boiling water on the stove. And they say, hey, can you, they start joking with her. Hey, you got a stove, a pot on the stove boiling. Can you go and turn that off and, and take care of that, because we don't want to burn up while we're here. Kind of a joke. So she goes over to the stove and she grabs the pot and walks over to the sink. So I guess she was going to dump the water into the sink. But she says something. She says, and let me find this so I don't give the because this is bothering me so much. Jill, what was it she said?
She said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Yes. So she's facing the stove or the sink. And all of a sudden she says, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And one of the officers heard it. And he said, what did you say? And she turned around with the pot still in her hands and said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And then both of them put their hands on their guns and started to draw on her, ready to shoot. So now the pot that they told to get off the stove, to turn off and all of that she was going to dump in the sink is still in her hands when she turns around. And there's a counter separating them. So she's in the kitchen, they're in the living room. Probably 10, 12 feet away from her. When she turns around with the pot, they start saying, drop the pot, drop the pot, drop the pot. Drop the pot, or I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking shoot you in the face. Now she's confused, and she says, why are you all backing away from me? Like she was a threat. And they're telling her, drop the pot. But how's she gonna drop a hot pot on her feet? She may have been barefoot. She may have had slippers on, but I don't know. But then they draw her weapons. So she raises up the pot about this high. And then they're like, drop the pot, drop the pot, drop the pot. And they draw her guns on her. And she's saying, oh, I'm sorry. You know, obviously she's confused. She's like, why?
And she ducks.
And that's what I was getting to. So she's confused. So she ducks. She gets down to the ground. And they lean over the counter. That one cop and shoots her point blank in the face 3 times. The other cop says, oh, I'll go get the med kit. The one that shot her said, oh, no need. She's done. That's a headshot. I got her.
F and B.
Yes. Okay, then afterwards they were saying, oh, yeah, see, the water's on the floor. It's by our feet. It wasn't because she threw the water at them. It's because they shot her in the head. They shot her in the face. Point blank. While she was down at the floor. Clearly not a threat.
May I add to the story?
Yes, you can, Jill. Please.
When they came to the door, one of them asked her if she's okay mentally. And she said, I took my medication. And then after the shooting, the one who shot her asked dispatch if other police had ever been called there because of her mental condition. So already setting her up from the start.
Yes.
Because we know how, instead of helping someone with a mental health condition, they want to shoot them, kill them.
Exactly. Much like I wrote in the poem, long before this happened. If you have any type of mental illness, and I'm going to say this, you need to get a list of everybody you can call if you have an episode, if something's going on and you don't feel right. You need to call friends, loved ones, everybody you can to come and help you. Because you do not want the police to come to your house when you're having a mental breakdown. Because there's a high likelihood that they will kill you.
And that goes back to training. They're not trained to help someone having a mental health episode.
That is true. That is true. Some cities have psychiatrists that will come out on these calls, but most cities don't. If you have a mental illness and you call 911, the only people that are going to come are the police. And unfortunately, like Jill mentioned, they're not trained to handle this situation. But what they are trained to do is see a black person as the enemy. They are trained to see a black person as less than, as a criminal, as I said earlier, a no count. They're not worth anything. You can kill one and we'll cover it up.
You should say he was fired eventually.
He was fired eventually, but initially they told a lie. They told
To the family.
To the family. They told what did they tell the family? What was it? Because I heard a couple of stories. What did they tell their family, Jill?
What I've seen reported is that they told the family the prowler that she called about is the person who killed her.
Right.
The one that they never actually found.
And didn't they also say she had a self-inflicted
That they until
wound?
but 2 days later the autopsy the autopsy showed it was definitely a homicide.
Hey, check this out. Self-inflicted wound. She shot herself in the face three times. You know, there's an old thing they used to say. Same types of situations. Oh, he committed suicide. Shot himself in the back 3 times. It's insane. And if I believe, I might be mistaken, but didn't her family find out through the internet?
Her father did, yes. Well, a family member saw something about it online and told the father.
This is ridiculous. It has to stop. Now, I do have something else to say about this. You know, there is a certain political party that had a slogan, "Make America Great Again." What did that slogan mean? Make America great again? I thought America was already great. But that slogan really means let's turn back the clock and make America the way it used to be. Make America the way it was before 1865. Make America back to the way it was after 1865. Make America the way it was during Jim Crow. Now check this out. This political party just changed their slogan to make America safe again. And how do you do that? By putting fear into black people, by putting fear into minorities. So if they keep on killing us, we will be in fear. This is why I'm saying, if you have a mental illness, do not call the police. You know, I'm going to wrap this up soon, but just look how we have to think. I've told this story before. It's a quick story. I was on the list if my neighbors were out of town and their alarm went off. And they were out of town and their alarm went off. So the security company calls me. And they say there's an alarm on the back door that, was set off. I say, okay. They say, well, we're calling the police. I'm like, okay. So the police also knew I was on the list because I assume that the alarm company told them. But I'm pretty smart. So I go outside and I wait by the curb. I don't look in the back of the house to see whether anything was disturbed or a broken window. I'm sitting out in front of my neighbor's house with a flashlight. And I'm waving at the police as they show up. And I tell them who I am, so on and so forth, have to show my identification. And then he says, well, did you check the back of the house? I said, no. He said, why not? I said, because I didn't want to get shot by him. He said, yeah, it was a good idea for you to stay out here because you might have gotten shot. A black man at the back door where the alarm went off. We have to think about everything we do because we might get killed. I feel so bad for Sonya Massey and her family. But we got to put a stop to this. Yes, Jill. Okay, but I'm going to wrap this up. This is the show for tonight. I had a hard time doing this show tonight. I really didn't want to do it, but I felt I had to. Because here we are again. So,
before you close out, say hi to Jeanette.
Hi, Jeanette. How are you? I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry that you had to be here for this topic. I wish I would never have to do one of these topics again. But unfortunately, I'm going to be doing this again. But anyway, I'm closing this show out. We're going to turn on some outro music. Look, make sure you check out Poetic People Fighting Racism every other week. So my next show is not next Saturday, but the following Saturday. And you can also watch that on YouTube and Facebook and at notobestill.com and click the podcast tab. Also, make sure you check out I'm Right, I'm Right. And that's every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can watch that on YouTube and Facebook also. And you can go to Jill's website, jillcoxcordova.com, and check that show out also. Remember, that's every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, here I am again. So I'm closing out the show. I gotta tell you all, I love you all as usual. We gotta help stop the killing. If they won't stop killing us, we have to keep ourselves safe. So watch out when you call the police. I love you all. Till next time. Bye.